That's what have we got here? Yeah, that's good, Grandy. Don't forget, people, you can hit the link. Come and have a chat if you want. I don't really bite. So, Grandy, what about tourism over there? Is it improved? In and around your, from where you kind of, your perspective, what you see? Yeah, I know Stubbsy's going over probably another couple of weeks. He's heading to Vietnam. Everything's open here, Grandy, but it's so bloody expensive. You've got to second guess everything you do nowadays. Price of fuel. Oh, that's something I'll do. I'll see if I can find it. Bugger. Can't find it. We'll have to download it.
That's what I see.
I'm not sure on petrol, but it's $2.20 a litre for diesel. Which is darn expensive. It's because for here, you've got to travel a bit to. Yeah, you've got a couple of supermarkets, but not much else. So if you want anything else, distance comes into it. And like I say, for winter grade premium diesel, $2.20. It has come back a bit, but it was a bit more expensive than that. So it makes you rethink on when you're travelling. That's for sure. When you're driving around. Because the price of transport has affected costs of items. But for the average person, they're just paying more for the item and more for for their transport. Which in the retail sector, it's hurt that a bit too, because obviously people aren't buying what they used to. Yes, you could sell your wares to China. Wouldn't be a silly idea. Chinese still want English teachers. And actually, with all that crap that's going on, universities over here are cutting a lot of different stuff because a lot of the international students haven't arrived, and they're not coming. Costs on that part of education's risen. That's fine, Granny. Just got to learn not to be a dickhead. But I know at the local university, they a lot of the arts majors, they've cut them, and the teachers are wandering around the campus going, well, what do I do now? And they know for a fact they're going to probably be redundant. And that's because we used to get a lot of Chinese students into the universities, and a lot of the curriculum was modified to their needs. And yeah, a lot of the academics were making some very, very good money. But now realism has hit. So they might just have to dip into their large saving accounts instead of, being on the gravy train. But really, education in this country is expensive. Where education was supposedly free, it's not. And instead of embracing the people to get a higher standard of academic learning, they're really not. People are leaving university with degrees with a very, very large bill for their education. And that doesn't matter if they go and work in that profession or not. Well, I tell you what, if they sold a house in Melbourne, their real estate values down there went silly, and still are relatively high. Even up here, real estate has pulled back a bit because people are selling in Melbourne and they're finding they've got a fistful of dollars and they're actually overpaying. That's what's driven the market up in the more regional areas. It's driven them up So that realistically, people that are born and bred around the areas and want to stay there, they've been priced out of it. Um, because of the not necessarily the value is the price homes are selling for. Yeah, yeah. There's some there's some big money floating around, but I had a look at housing in my local area of kind of what I wanted, and the price tags to the offering. Uh, it was disgraceful because as all I looked at it is what is it going to cost me to get to what I want, and the potential of you look at the front fence and it's kind of a tree's roots have got in under it and stuffed up the foundation, and the bricks are about ready to the brick fence is about ready to fall over, and um, humongous big trees. Um, all those kind of things are some big costs. Um, Driveways that are, because of trees or whatever, up and down, they're trip hazards. You don't want that on a house, around a place. Um, all that kind of stuff that you look at. And that was just about every place that we looked at. And we probably looked at about 30 houses. That's when we said, nah, you buy a house for that kind of money. It's not walk in, love it. This is where I'm going to be type of thing. There was a couple that were very close, but they wouldn't really shift on the dollars. So that's when we said, well, to hell with it. It's cheaper to build. As soon as realistically, when the construction stuff and all that's, everything's kind of done, it's not a. What do you mean? No. We first lot of builders they pulled out at the last minute when they could, because prices of stuff going up and things like that. They decided they couldn't build it, and they were trying to pull a few shady ones. So we rejected a lot of stuff. So that gave them an out. But when they pulled out, that meant they had to give us. If we had pulled out, we would have lost our deposit. So the other way around was they pulled out and they had to give back the money. Which is fine. We then took that money and placed it with another builder, and will be quite a nice place when it's done. It's all going through all the bullshit now of planning permits and all that crap that takes 3 months when it's half a dozen people have to look at it and put their 2 bobs worth in when all really have to do is just stamp the bloody piece of paper. Yeah, quite a few of the smaller ones and some of the project ones, but company we went with is not going to go broke. Been around for a long time. The volume builders. I watched a few houses that company built, and the last weekend we went and knocked on the door of a house, and the fellow there was a nice bloke, and we just spoke to him in general, and he said, "No, good company to get along with. There's a couple of problems, but no biggies, no big dramas." And he built the house as an investment. Yes, I remember Jennings. I used to work for them. No, they're not going anymore. A lot of them went under years ago, but there was a couple up around here that we used to work for, subby work, that went under. I'm glad we never got caught with them. But I think we were lucky. We were on 7-day payment, so. Oh, yeah, your sister worked for them. They were big, back in the 70s, 80s, and that they were a pretty big company. But sometimes companies get too big too quick. And they've got to take on more workers and all those kind of things, and they're not necessarily the direction they want to go. As in, if you want to uphold a standard, because the majority of the subcontractors are paid for what they do, and the sooner they get it done, the sooner they get paid. And not all of them have got a good work ethic and a finish. Although the companies have got a finish thing, that what's acceptable and what's not, but it's like anybody. When they're spending their hard-earned money, they want the best possible finish they can get for their dollar. I think it comes back to, once again, the site supervisors and things like that. The house I was talking about that we looked at last weekend, there was just a couple of little things on paint, which were not a big deal. But I looked at my niece's house. She got it built by a builder that we were going to go through. They undercoated a wall, but only top coated, finished top coating. 3 parts of it must have been run out of paint. Next day, crew change, who knows? But it never got painted. But the company kind of said, "Oh, it's less than 10% of the wall. It's fine." I would have said, "Well, all right, when it comes to your final payment, I'll take off 10% of your final payment, and that's fine, because I haven't got what I paid for." But so anyhow, they're saying, you got to fix it, and they said, "Oh yeah, well, no, we don't," and all that kind of crap. Yeah, it's bullshit. They should have held out on their final payment. But I think the house ran 4 or 5 months over scheduled time. And their lease was up, so they had to kind of, go to where they would go to their new house because the other house had been sold and all that kind of stuff. So they were stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Although it leaves a pretty bad taste in your mouth, but if you have to get out the roller and a can of paint and paint that bloody wall yourself, you kind of say, well, bugger it, I'll do it. Yeah, but no one wants to pay for a job and not have it done. You're starting a new Facebook. Why did you get banned? Yeah, okay. Did you get banned, did you? Were you running amok, Granty? this day and age, you've got to watch what you say. Yes, too much so. That happens. That happens, Gone are the days of privacy and gone are the days of freedom of speech. The only time you've got freedom of speech is in your own house and make sure no one else hears it, what you're saying. Because everything's monitored. Big Brother's watching, don't forget. One day Sense and Sensibility will come back. One day. It's only when people realise that censorship to a certain extent, yeah, but the whole thing about it is freedom of speech is gone. You only have to look but here. A couple of years back, people were doing posts and posting the way they felt, and then they were getting blue uniforms knocking on their door saying, you can't say that. Yeah, I don't go onto Facebook much. Every now and again, have a look at the marketplace things to see what's around. Yeah, she's doing well. She went home for a couple of months and had a holiday, and which was the first time she'd been back in 2.5 years. So yeah, she's plodding along quite well. It's probably the best 2 months holiday I ever had too. Except for the weather was crap. yeah, I had stuff to do, so that kept me at home. Which was saved us a few dollars, and um, achieved a bit more than just dig out some dirt. But yeah, saved us some dollars because I got the people to do what I had wanted to do, and um, it's easy to do some of the stuff when there's no structure in the way. Um, yeah, well, she's had all that. She's got to have all the vaccination stuff for employment. Um, no quarantine, any of that. But yeah, basically, she's got to do a rapid antigen test every morning, take a photo of it, and send it to the company, um, regardless of it negative or positive. But send it to the manager of the company, and obviously, if you're negative, you go to work, and if you're positive, you just stay home uh, until you return a negative. Yeah. Well, in that industry, I don't blame them. They should be doing the same thing with visitors as well, I think. When you've got people, when you've got people in the nursing homes and things like that, um, the outbreaks I've had have come from family. So realistically, they should be um, they should be saying to the visitors, basically, rapid antigen test, show us a photograph, or show of the test, time dated, and then we'll tell you if you can come in or not. That's what should be happening, and that way, all that kind of stuff is going to be minimised. No, well, that they stopped the week before she went over. If you had all your, your jabs, or you had all your jabs and um, tested negative to a rapid antigen test, you would come on down. Job's right. Um, so none of that was hard. But even if I'd have gone, it wouldn't have been a problem because the quarantine thing was over. But I think predominantly most countries now, they're not so much worried about the vaccinations. I think they're just worried, like as long as you've got passed a clear test, you're right. Yeah, Mum's still going well. And Mum's still going well. Don't forget, anybody, if you want to click the link and come and have a chat, more than welcome. Because that veranda I built my last trip, which was bloody near 3 years ago now. I did have intentions of going back the year later and doing a louver set up on the eastern side. That's where the veranda is, but the eastern side to I'm not 100% sure, Grant. I know she's 80 something, but anyhow. But so anyhow, when the wife was there, the mother kind of mentioned about it, and a few other, so she went and got a couple of local people and said, well, which way should we do it? And I just said, well, use some of the timber we've got lying around. When they're screwing the planks on, just get them to screw it. Just put one screw in it type of thing, just to hold it up there. Because I've got steel there, which I bought for that actual job. So the steel structure will go along, and it'll be like a half opened louver window, that kind of style. Or so it'll have a bit of slope on it, so the rain and the sun don't come in, but plenty of air, plenty of ventilation. That was always the plan. But she'll be probably coming back out here next year around Christmas time, I suppose. We'll bring her out for 6 months. Yeah, you don't have to be like that, Granny. But me mate, he married a Thai woman we knew quite well. And I used to say to him, many years ago, mate, you got to get off instead of sitting on your ass on the couch, freezing in the winter. Come with me. We'll go where it's warmer, and it won't cost a lot of money. Anyhow, he did his first overseas trip. Went to Thailand. and met up with her family and stuff, and travelled around a little bit, and yeah, I expected him to say, quite a few things different, but I thought to myself, oh, geez, he's got it bad. He said, no, it was wonderful. Oh, shit, I should have done it years ago, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I enjoy her out here too, because she's not hard to get along with. Obviously you got that language barrier to a certain extent, but well, the next trip I do, like I say, it will be next year. It'll be 3 months. So the very strong possibility that I'll end up in Vietnam. And I've got a little wish list, little bucket list of places I want to go to, things I want to see. I'm not going to promise, but it like I say, there's like I say, there's quite a few things I really want to see. And one is what do they call it? The Tracia. Tarsier. They're a little monkey only found on one island in the Philippines. And yeah, I think before they're extinct and I'm extinct, there's something I want to see. Yeah, plus around the same, around the same area, get the Chocolate Hills, which is a natural wonder. That'd be good, Granny. Oh, dear, oh dear. Oh, I made a comment on a video. And the content of the video was talking about other people's reaction to another fellow's death, where some were in fact rejoicing. The thing is, I had the privilege of chatting with him many, many, many times. A good level-headed man. Yeah, like I say, a good level-headed man. He knew what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go, and things like that. But before he got his stuff organised to head off on a trip, because at the moment, pricing, yeah, thanks, Grandy. Pricing for trips, and it still hasn't got back into what it used to be. As in competition-wise, you can still travel from point A to point B, but you might have to go through point C, and or open the wallet a hell of a lot further and then be limited on days and times. So that's another reason why I kind of said I'd wait to next year really to travel. If you wanted to go through some of the, real budget airlines, and have one or two, stopovers and all lots of crap. That's always an option. I'm afraid if I'm going to go somewhere, unless I kind of say I'd like to go there, then I'll go there. Which was one lot of budget airlines is quite feasible, but yeah, heading to a destination, I usually just want to go there. Coming home, I don't mind. A 24-hour or 48. Well, sometimes you can negotiate that too, but on the layovers. Yeah, that'd be wonderful, Grandy. That'd be really wonderful. I could put a comment in there, but I won't. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying is, gentleman actually, with his, level-headedness, and in between all of it, he had a massive heart attack and bang, gone. Which in a way is not a bad way to go. I think we're past that, Grandy. I think we're past that. Anyhow, I'm going to bid you good night, Grant. And I'm going to head to bed. I've had a fairly interesting day, so I'm a little bit on the tired side. So, yeah, on that point, good night, everybody, and we'll catch you later.